A quick video on the Flowbots trade copier called Replikanto for Ninja Trader. This is a paid product. You can get it on the Flowbots Ninja website. It has a lifetime fee of $300 for a single license. I am aware of one discount code. I will include it in the description below. It used to give 25% off. I'm not sure if it still does. Hopefully, yes. If you are going to install it, the first thing you would need to do is create an account on Flowbot's website and purchase a plugin. Now, once you've purchased the plugin, you would need to register it with NinjaTrader. First step involves generating a license ID of your NinjaTrader setup, which you can do by clicking on Help, choosing third-party licensing, putting Flowbots, no spaces here, and user-defined ID. It can be anything, but generally it's the identifier of your NinjaTrader instance or your computer name or whatnot. Once you fill it out, it'll generate a license key here. And this license key is something that you put into the license manager. Their website says it's about 2 hours for it to be activated. In my experience, it can be as little as 5 to 10 minutes. If it does take longer, just keep in mind that once you enter your machine license ID, it can take a little bit of time for it to become activated. So that's a licensing bit. Now, once you've added the license, you can download from their website the NinjaTrader Replikanto. Current version is this, but depending on when you watch the video, there could be a later version available here. This will download a zip file with a plugin for NinjaTrader. You can install this zip file from going to Tools, Import, and importing a NinjaScript add-on option. I'm not going to import it because I already have it installed. Once you install it, it'll ask you, are you sure? Once you confirm it, it'll load the code and it'll ask you to restart NinjaTrader for it to become active. Once that restart is complete, under New tab inside Flowbots, you will see a Replikanto option available here. That option will confirm that now you have Replikanto installed, and clicking this menu option will open up a Replikanto window. That window is where you can configure your copy trading for your setup. What I have here is the Replikanto window inside NinjaTrader. I'm going to show you a couple of different options, but first I'm going to talk about this menu on the left. The way the Replikanto works is first you need to pick which instrument that you're going to copy. It doesn't copy all the trades on all the accounts across all instruments. You have to do it an instrument at a time. So if you're trading both NQ and MNQ, you would need to set up 2 copiers for the same set of accounts. And the same thing is if you're also trading ES or YM and so on, you would need to have one setup per each, which is actually easy to do because once you set it up, you can duplicate the tab in a new tab and simply change the instrument. So it's a pretty easy process to do once you set up one configuration for, let's say, NQ to apply it across ES and MNQ and so on. Then you would select a leader account. This is the account from which the orders are going to be copied to other accounts. Then is the copy method or propagation across the child accounts, which are going to be copied to. Now, default option is exact quantity. It's pretty straightforward. It means that if you place an order for a single contract, then it's going to copy an order for a single contract across all the accounts that you're copying to. Another option that I like to use is the ratio option. Ratio option is handy if you have accounts of different sizes or you want to manage the risk more carefully. So for example, if my primary account is a 50K account, I don't want to trade more than a single NQ contract. However, if I'm copying it to account that is of a larger size, let's say 150K, I'm comfortable taking 2 NQ. What I would do there is I would select that account, change the ratio to 2, and that would mean that for every contract taking on my parent account, it'll now take 2 contracts on the account of a larger size. At the same time, you can also reduce your risk using the copiers. If my primary account is a 50K account, and let's say it's a funded or eval account, and I'm copying it to other accounts, I don't necessarily want to take the same amount of risk. So the way I can reduce the risk is by using a cross-order function. Instead of taking an order on NQ, it'll actually take the order on MNQ. Here, I will use the ratio to adjust my size to 8. Essentially, for every contract of NQ that is taken on my primary account, on the copied account, it's going to take 8 MNQ contracts with the exact same TP and stop loss. And that allows you to adjust your risk down from the account that you're copying it to. There's lots of different configurations of how you can use ratio. You can also use it to reduce risk. If, let's say, your default size was 8 MNQ, you can set the ratio to 0.5 for a child account so that it will only take 4 MNQ, and so that if you're taking a loss, you're not propagating the full size of the loss across all your different accounts. That's a pretty handy option to use in many different configurations. Notice that every time I'm copying, I'm selecting this ATM copy option. It's essentially a more precise way for Replikanto to copy the order. That is my preference, and that's also the recommendation from the Flowbot developers. Obviously, you don't have to keep that option enabled. Now, there are additional options that are worth considering when you're doing copying. The odd part is to access those options, you actually need to right-click on the Replikanto tab and click on Rename. That opens up an additional window where you can configure additional settings for replication. For example, you can send emails to yourself whenever there is a trade copy going on and so on. The settings that are most interesting are the settings that are there to save you when things don't go quite right. And there are instances where things may not go quite right, especially if you're copying during high volatility, the orders may not always fill, or if you're copying across multiple prop firms, let's say Apex or Bullinox, and because they're using different brokerages like Strativate or Rhythmic, the fills may be slightly different. It's important to leverage Replikanto to prevent as much as possible from things going wrong. The first option that I'd like to have enabled is cancel the follower entry order if it's not filled. If it's not able to fill an entry and it goes past it, cancel the follow orders to make sure that there is no discrepancy between the master accounts and the follower accounts, which are the accounts that you're copying the trade to. Also, if a follower, for whatever reason, becomes out of sync from the primary account, it starts showing different prices, or if you've taken partials and those partials could not be filled for whatever reason on the follower account, this will flatten the followers to make sure that you don't have desynchronization, which can eat up more of your profits or dig you deeper into a loss if you're currently in a drawdown when that option is triggered. The other three options I like to have enabled is that if for whatever reason the order is rejected on a follower account, immediately cancel orders. If you have not already entered into a position, cancel all the attempts to do so. If you're already in a position, then flatten the transaction so that you don't end up in a potentially bad situation. And same is true if it was unable to submit the order, also flatten the transaction. And the last option I like to have enabled is that if there's any unspecified error that happens during the copying, then flatten the follower accounts. The idea behind these is that if for whatever reason something goes wrong with trade copying, you don't want many accounts in various state of desynchronization. If you're copying across many different accounts, chances are you will not be fast enough to manage all of those different trades and close them or add your own stop losses and so on across all of them. So it's better to just have those flattened and orders canceled, and your accounts can live for another day.